What's happening, good people? This is the Trying to Be Grown podcast. I am your host, Damani Carter, with my esteemed co-host, Mr. Byron Keaton, who for some reason is wearing a do-rag right now.
Wear for my hair. Trying to make sure it's not damaged.
For those of you that can't see this, that are listening in, it's even stupider than it sounds. I promise you, if you get a look at this.
This is my hair. I can't protect my hair. Do what's best for me.
It's not even. It's just.
I'm in my own home.
See, Dre exposed what a studio is. You're not supposed to do the same thing.
You're
not supposed to do the same thing.
I can't say I'm in my own home.
It's a Desert Storm shirt on. Thank y'all for joining us. We very much appreciate it. Byron, I just before I just get fixated on this do-rag thing.
Wait. Shout out to all the YouTube watchers and listeners. Shout out to Spotify.
Wherever you're listening, everybody on all platforms, the support that we have received, I promise you we appreciate it. The feedback that we received, I promise you we appreciate it. I know we say that every show, but I very much appreciate it. And we got to apologize. Forgot about that. We have to apologize for the delay because Byron Tarantino here wanted to buy a new camera. It definitely was you.
That was a camera fault. It was camera fault. It wasn't my fault.
He decided that the camera that we're shooting on was not of a high enough quality, and he wanted to shell out for a new one. Didn't figure out that the new one messed up 5 minutes in the recording until we had already recorded.
It came back on the next 5
Did we have enough to put the episode out?
It will alternate 5 minutes. 5 minutes on, 5 minutes
We had a whole Valentine's Day episode recorded, ready to put out, but he messed it up. So we're going to.
I messed up with the camera.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. My fault. The camera messed up. You were the one that decided to get the camera.
I think we just had a defective one, but we getting that fixed.
Yeah, whatever.
Getting fixed.
But you do all the editing, so I'm not gonna get on you too bad. But we're going to. It's still the month of love. You know, Valentine's Day is long past, but we're still in that month. So we thought, we should still stay in the general February topics, and we're gonna touch on a little bit of Black history. Do that too. Got to stay with the spirit of February, but we apologize for missing y'all with the Valentine's Day episode. So to start off this love month themed episode, Byron, talk about your love language, if you would.
My love language. This tough, man. It's tough. I don't know what it is really. I think mine would have to be a mixture between all of them. Let me just look those up real quick. You know the 5? Like, is it 4 or 5? I think it's 5.
I don't know.
So what the 5 are...
You can tell by that we ain't got no business talking about this, but here we go.
I know it's like 1 is quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Acts of service or something like that. Here you go. Acts of service, words of affirmation, receiving gifts, and what's the last one? You know the last one?
No.
Come on, bro. You gotta help me a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. What you want? You want to both look them up?
And physical touch. Oh, I know mine ain't that. It's for sure not physical touch. I would lean probably more towards. It would probably be in the middle of words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, and quality time. Like somewhere that's like in a pretty neutral spot out of those 4. So,
words of affirmation for you.
Actually,
yeah,
we can take that one out.
All right. So, receiving gifts is part of your love language?
I guess.
All right, if you say so.
Receiving gifts, acts of service, and quality time.
Acts of service. Oh, quality time. That is an interesting.
Emily just quality time, so I would say probably quality time.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. And you have I already know how you're gonna answer this question. And I really please everybody that knows him, and even if you don't know him, please get on his head in the comments, in the DMs, whatever you got to do. Please get on his head. How do you define quality time?
So before we get into that,
y'all gonna love this.
Everybody defines quality time differently, and so.
Yeah, but I don't feel like most people.
Everybody defines quality time differently, but the main thing in it is quality. You have to look at the quality part.
Okay, you're not setting yourself up well for what you meant to say after.
So what some people determine as sufficient quality here, I might not say that's sufficient quality. Or what some people may say is sufficient quality, that may exceed my quality time standard.
Will you stop beating around the bush and please just get to the part that everybody's going to be mad about?
As long as we together, I believe that is quality time. And like, there's some type of mental stimulation. Like, your mind has to be involved, and you can't just be. See, could sleeping be quality time? Maybe. And so then that kind of breaks down my definition. I don't know, but okay, let's say sleep is not part of quality time, even though it possibly could be. So yeah, sleep is not part of quality time, but as long as there is mental stimulation and you are together, that is considered quality time.
All right, prepare yourselves. So Byron, I asked you this, and I would prefer if you'd answer the same way that you did before.
Yes or no? How you want me to answer?
No, I'm saying like you've answered this question already, but unless you want to go back on this and just on your own recognizance, change
I got to double down on whatever it is.
That's the other thing that we were supposed to talk about. Your ability to self-reflect. We're gonna talk about that too. Don't let me forget.
What?
Your ability to self-reflect. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Okay.
We gotta remember that. Write that down. But so if you on the game, you're playing Call of Duty, you're on Warzone,
yeah,
and she is on the computer.
Her computer doing something.
Something.
That is still quality time. Because between that game, if she's not there, what would I be doing during that time? The little 5-minute break in between or after I die. I'll be locked in on the game trying to get better for the next round. But if she's there, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put my little 2 cents in here and there and say what I got to say. My mind just not all the way involved into the game like it would be if I were alone. Not as much communication going on with my teammates, things like that. Can't yell at somebody, where were you? You didn't have my back. Can't do that. Because I'm not going to be over there during that little intermission time.
Okay.
So how would you define quality time?
I'd say that quality time involves like worthwhile engagement with the other person.
So mental stimulation.
Did you hear that? Never mind.
So mental stimulation.
It seems that our producer is agreeing with me.
So mental stimulation.
No.
What is it?
Worthwhile engagement with the other person.
What is that?
My mind could be stimulated if I'm watching the Avengers by myself. But
wait. You watching a movie with a girl. Is that quality time?
I think it depends.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is that quality time?
It depends on the way that you do it. It seems that our producer has some strong feelings.
Yes or no?
About this. It depends on the way that you do it. It depends on the way that you do it.
Okay, how could it be quality time? Are they allowed to talk? Is it quality time tomorrow?
Our producer just submitted a question to the podcast that you would like it answered. Are they allowed to talk?
No, when the TV on, you're not supposed to be talking.
Okay. So
you're not supposed to talk during a movie or a TV show.
There's an easy answer there. I'm losing my train of thought a little bit.
Is that not a pet peeve for you?
No.
See, I don't like questions asking me to predict what's going to happen next when we at the same point in the movie.
All right, that's something that it's.
Go ahead.
Producer is on it today. She is killing him. So let me put it to you this way. I figure if it was constant, it'd probably get on my nerves. But I feel like if it happens every once in a while, if there's conversation that goes on over the course of a movie. I don't feel like that's too much.
Okay.
But going back to the question,
question at hand, yeah, let's hear it.
No, whether or not watching a movie with a significant other is quality time. Like I said, it depends on the way that you do it.
So what way would it be?
Because you could watch a movie by yourself in the same way that you watch a movie with another person. No, I said that backwards. You could watch a movie with another person in the same way that you'd watch a movie by yourself. Like you could just be there, engaging with the content, not focused on anything. But I mean, if y'all are making a decision to watch the movie together, if there's a mutual understanding that it's something we both want to see, or I'm watching this with you to spend time with you. I think
so. You have to say it up front.
No, I don't think you have to say it.
So what is the difference between watching it by myself and then
I'm using that as an example. I'm saying obviously there are things.
You're not making it sound different to me.
No, if y'all are like, I don't know, under the blanket or something, like there's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of specifics that you could get into. There's a whole bunch of specifics and not like that under the blanket nasty people, but I'm saying there's a whole bunch of specifics that you could get into. But I'm just saying, like, in a broad general sense, if you're being intentional about what you're doing with the other person, I think that's quality time. You can't be intentional about what you're doing with the other person while you're on the game.
You can.
The only thing that you're being intentional about while you're on the game is the game. That's it.
I disagree. I believe quality time can be in so many different ways, including playing the game.
Okay. Well, I just feel like...
Because if we are intentionally saying, hey, we're going to watch you play the game.
If she's saying that she's going to watch you play the game, I think she's spending quality time with you. But if y'all are both doing different things... Okay, well, I'll be spending quality time with her. Yes, I would say yes. I'd say that it's...
Because it's mental stimulation.
There's kind of a difference in quality there because she's making an effort to just be a part of you, especially if it's not something she enjoys. She's making an effort to do something with you. But if it's just... Basically, you're saying that, like, y'all are doing the same things that you would be doing by yourselves.
Yeah. Together.
But just doing it together. And I think there's an element of togetherness that you could kind of tie in with quality time, but I think that's like a very rudimentary level. And I don't think people would consider that quality time. I think that's just together time.
I'm telling you what you just said right there.
I'm a trademark.
You said some people.
Is it quality time or just together time? Find out next week on Damani.
First of all, that's a terrible name for whatever that is.
Moesha was a show, but I can't have Damani. No, I'm saying like it'd be a talk show.
You ain't got that type of power behind you, bro.
Obviously, I don't have that type of power.
You don't have that type of power where the Oprah show.
Oprah was a show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, but they just call it Oprah.
Are you Oprah?
Dr. Phil, Dr. Oz. There's a whole lot of names that
go
show.
What's yours? Damani. Nobody tuning into that, bro.
Like who?
Nobody tuning in to that.
Yeah, I agree, but I just go back to what you said. Go ahead. But we still got to get through my love language. We've been talking about this for so long. Okay, all right, that's fine. Mine is I always get it messed up. Is it acts of kindness or acts of service? I always forget.
Both, because they overlap.
No, I'm saying what's the name for them?
Oh, words of affirmation or acts of service?
It's definitely not words of affirmation.
Acts of service, words of affirmation.
Acts of service.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I know. I couldn't remember if it's acts of service or acts of kindness. Because to me, like, the words of affirmation, it don't mean...
You just like receiving gifts is what it sounds like.
No, it doesn't mean anything to me, to, like, words of affirmation. Because to me, you can say anything.
That's what I said. You like receiving gifts.
No, I'm not. It's not a receiving gifts thing. It's not a receiving gifts.
Okay, so acts of service, that would be like making up your bed or something, which would technically be a gift.
I'm just saying, like, doing things that show that there is some level of care for me. And I don't feel like I'm a person that has to be cared for a lot, but if you do it. No, I mean if you do stuff, and obviously like grand gestures, I don't even really know how to take them, but I appreciate them. Like I appreciate everything people do for me, and I appreciate it when people like say things, but it just doesn't do a lot for me. Because to me, it'd be very easy for me to say whatever and then go do the exact opposite. Like, but to me, the actions are what matters. Like the words.
Okay, so I got a question. Couldn't they just do whatever, and then as soon as they get away from you, just talking all kind of reckless about you?
You can talk about me however you want to. And I mean, obviously, there's a limit to that. There's a limit to that.
It's the same. You can just flip that.
But I'm saying, like, there's a whole bunch of, like, we talk about the people that are on Twitter saying the opposite sex ain't nothing. They don't do nothing for me. They don't do nothing. And then they get to the text message and say, hey, boo, I'm on my way home. Love you. With a kissy face.
People really be like that?
Yes. I think people
So what they be on Twitter fronting for?
But I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the saying doesn't matter to me so much as the doing. That's just how I
am. I don't know about that. Because to me, acts of service is just receiving gifts. I don't really see the difference.
There's a big difference.
Because the act of service is basically still just a gift. Unless they're talking about like tangible gifts.
That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, receiving.
But I would say like making somebody else's bed is a gift.
But that's a really like stretched definition of gift, though.
That's a stretched definition of gift.
Because that's why it says acts of service, because that's something that's literally.
I don't know who came up with this, but I don't like it.
Why?
I don't think these are good categories.
Okay, we'll put it. If you're stretching the category that far, then words of affirmation could be a gift.
Correct. All these really overlap.
That's so stupid. Byron, why do you have to stretch it that far?
Words of affirmation really overlaps with quality time. Only one. Actually, no. I would say physical touch still overlaps with other stuff, because physical touch could be a hug, massage, anything.
But I'm saying there are small.
Technically, that could be a receiving gift.
But there are small overlaps, and you're trying to turn them into these categories.
They're all the same.
Almost the same. No, that's not how it works.
They're very similar.
Are you speaking into your mic?
Yeah, I'm speaking in my mic.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I don't want to be too loud.
Yeah, now you pick it. But yeah, I think you're reading too much into that. But that's kind of a good segue into this. Byron thinks that he is good at self-reflection, and I think that is among the stupidest things that he has ever said, because you don't have a self-reflective bone in your body. Like all 180 pounds of you, there is not an ounce
Hey, don't disrespect
of self-reflection.
I lost weight, bro.
What do you see? This is what I'm talking about.
I lost weight.
That's the point you took from this?
Listen, I lost weight. Why? Because I was self-reflecting. Self-reflecting. I'm like, hey, you can do better with yourself. So what did I do, Damani? I created a better me. You got to find different ways to self-reflect. There's not just one area in your life that you need to self-reflect. Mm-hmm. I self-reflect in multiple ways.
Like?
What you mean, like?
You see what I'm talking about? That's what I'm
joking. But no, I just you got to find your little weak spots in your life, or in things that you do.
So if people consistently tell you that something is a weak spot in your life, you think that might be grounds for self-reflection?
Maybe. It depends. Because sometimes what people see as a weak spot in you, that may not be one of your biggest weak spots that you need to be focusing on at that time. So sometimes you got to pick and choose which character trait or just characteristic of yourself that you need to be working on. Sometimes it works to work on 2 and 3 at a time. Sometimes you just need to focus on one thing. And you gotta know yourself. That's what comes with self-reflecting.
I'm gonna tell you this much, Byron. I'm betting that there's one big category that you've been working on for about the past 5 years, because I have not seen anything in the area of self-reflection since I met you.
Wait, time out. So I'm the same person from freshman year that I
No, I wouldn't say that you're the same person. I'd say
it's growth in there because of self-reflection.
No, the growth happens not naturally, but I mean, well, I can't think of a better word. So I'm saying growth happens naturally.
See, but that's not true.
No, because you go through things and you have new experiences. Like, I didn't know this before.
And when you go through those things, you self-reflect.
No, you don't necessarily have to
self-reflect all the time.
You don't have to self-reflect.
Every once, I meditate when I need to. I do all type of things to self-reflect. How often do you self-reflect, Damani?
I self-reflect more than you do.
Other than looking in the mirror, how often do you self-reflect?
I self-reflect not a lot, but I feel like I self-reflect more than the average person. I'm refining the process all the time.
Oh, I think that's just natural. I don't think that's actually you refining the process. That's just you going through adversity.
Self-reflection involves, put it to you this way, if
it involves being uncomfortable.
And we talked, the first person that I really talked about refining the process with was our old strength coach, Coach Herb. So if Coach Herb introduces, you remember the tart cherry juices we had? There was a cherry juice that was
disgusting at first.
I love those, but they were available to us in the training room, and they really help with muscle recovery. So if
inflammation.
Yeah, inflammation, exactly. Yeah. But if Coach Herb gives me a tart cherry juice and says, this will help with inflammation, this will help with your muscle regrowth and everything, and I drink it and I go, okay, I'm going to start doing this from now on. That's not necessarily self-reflection. That's just me getting some new information and employing it in my life. But if I look at what I've been doing over the course of however long of an amount of time and say, I need to change this because it's going to get me this better result, That's what self-reflection looks like.
Okay, now let's pause that. In that situation where Coach Herb told you to do that, and maybe you take a day or so, but then you like, wait, this can actually improve my football abilities or anything like that, just my overall athletic performance by helping my muscles grow faster, this and that, blah, blah, whatever the science is behind it. Would that be self-reflection then? If you actually think about it, absorb it, and then seeing how that can actually apply to your life and how that will actually work, would that be self-reflection?
I think because the new information was introduced in a way that didn't have to, it's really just an addition in that case. It's not a change so much. Additions are changes, but it's not a swap this habit for this habit or stop doing this. I guess that's kind of how change works. So it's tough. That's what I'm saying. The lines are kind of muddy.
You just don't want me to be a self-reflector, is what it sounds like.
No, you're not a self-reflector.
How can you tell me?
Whatever I say, you're not a self-reflector.
I am a self-reflector.
I'm sorry, but you're not a self-reflector.
I probably self-reflect more than you.
No.
You must don't know how much YouTube I watched to better myself in different areas of my life.
All right, you're gonna end up. All right, I'm not gonna say that, but you watch YouTube videos because
to learn.
No, because something's not right in your head.
I just like
That's
to learn.
Why.
I love to learn.
That's why. And it's not like normal YouTube videos. I'm talking about I walk into his room and he watching something
ancient
about
civilizations.
No, aliens. Like usually aliens.
I do enjoy aliens.
Usually space. Usually aliens.
Those are very intriguing areas, though, because it's just.
And you think that makes you self-reflective because you want to learn about aliens?
I'm not talking about that as a self. That's just for entertainment. Like how people watch.
You literally just talked about the fact that you're always watching YouTube videos and tried to use it as justification for the fact that you're self-reflective. What does watching videos about aliens have to do with self-reflection?
That's just one area of the YouTube videos. I watch.
That's a big area.
I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch sports stuff on YouTube. I will watch music. I guess it be music videos, as well as science stuff that just help with self-reflecting. I love to learn. My thing with aliens is just all of it's theory for the most part. Aliens in space are just theories. It's really nothing we can do about it. We can really test it, but I self-reflect. Go back to the original topic. I self-reflect. I try to do it at least 5 times a week. I used to do it daily, but sometimes life happens. So let's hear more about you actually. What does your self-reflecting process look like?
It generally looks like, what habits do I currently have that I need to stop having? What habits do I not have that I need to add? And what in my schedule, not my schedule, but then just like my regimen, like the things that I do normally would fit better other places. And that's the first 3 that I look for: additions, subtractions, moves. Moves within what I'm already doing. Adjustments to what I'm already doing.
That's what literally everybody does daily for the most part.
Oh, everybody does that daily? You've never done that once in your life? Never. Except I'll give you the weight thing.
Yeah.
You decided that you wanted to add running, and then you quit after 3 months, and that was what you told us on the first episode. So did I quit, or was
I forced to stop?
You stopped before Corona hit. You stopped before we were doing anything with the Corona restrictions.
No, that's
not
true.
You did.
Corona restrictions hit in February.
You stopped in mid-February. I came back on my birthday weekend. We did not take a single precaution. Not one precaution.
Back to what I was saying, but Corona slowed down everybody. And even during the whole entire Corona period, I self-reflected.
No, you didn't.
I wanted to be
You still just as crazy as you was before. You just have more justification now.
I've been
more
intentional with my time. I've been more intentional with my time. That's one way that I had to self-reflect, and it worked out.
Okay. All right. We'll act like that's true, and we'll just move on.
But yeah, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the best month of the year, Black History Month.
Oh, yeah. This is for you. My mother wanted to know why we hadn't done anything for Black History Month yet, being the proud Black woman that she is. So on her suggestion, I thought it'd be a great idea to just go ahead and highlight a guy that doesn't often get highlighted, but is really the reason that we have Black History Month, and a person that did a lot for Black people. And
you forgot his name.
No, I didn't. I'm literally just like.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Carter G. Woodson.
Okay.
Fool.
I'm making sure.
But anyway, I wasn't even gonna put you out there. Byron didn't know who this was before I brought his name up. So
I didn't. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
you was trying.
I
wasn't even gonna put you on blast like that. But if you hadn't heard the name Carter G. Woodson, please go look him up. Great man that did a lot. I have a little bit here. Black historian, author, journalist, and he's actually known as the father of Black history. And he created Black History Week in 1926, originally called Negro History Week. Don't call it that. Don't call it Negro History Month. Don't do that. And it later became Black History Month. He was born in New Canton, Buckingham County, Virginia in 1875. He received his PhD from Harvard in 1912. And in 1915, he and some colleagues established the Association for Negro Life and History, which led to the development of the Journal of Negro History. He mentioned, actually, this was the part that I found interesting. He mentioned later in his life that he hoped that one day we would surpass the need for Black History Month, at the time Black History Week, because American culture would embrace the achievements and the contributions of Black people as a whole. But yeah, that hasn't really happened yet, so we've failed him there. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Well, yeah, we have a way to go, but
yeah, we got a long ways to go, very long ways.
I hope by the end of my life I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, or at least be through the tunnel. But you never know.
I'm willing to put in the work, but I'm not optimistic.
You got to be a little bit optimistic.
I have to hope for better, because too many of the people that came before me put in too much work for me to not have hope. But that being said, I don't know.
So growing up, what did Black History Month mean to you, like as a kid, and then what does it mean to you now?
Man, growing up, and I'm sorry I got to put you on blast like this, man. I was not a huge fan of Black history, or no, I wouldn't say that I was not a fan of my blackness. I always loved being a black kid, but my mother was took a bit of a different approach. I came up here in Northwest Arkansas, so being in a predominantly white environment, my mother made a very deliberate effort to celebrate my African American identity, my roots in Africanity. My name, actually, it means thoughtfulness in a West African language, which actually I thought was Swahili until
I was about to say, I thought you
yeah,
say
I
Swahili
thought,
all the time.
bro, I used to say Swahili all the time until I met somebody that spoke Swahili, and they was like, it doesn't mean that. And I was
so your whole life was a lie.
I was 21 when that happened. So yeah, that was an interesting.
So what do you say?
It don't mean nothing in Swahili. And I still don't know what language it comes from. My name means thoughtfulness in some West African language. But anyway, just going back to my mom, she and I told Byron this. I had a Black History matching game. I was read a lot of traditional African stories. When Multicultural Day came to school, I was heated, wearing a dashiki and putting my all of my African garb on and marching down the center of the aisle so everybody could see it. It was not a fun time for me back in those days, but I very much appreciate it now. And looking at how I view the necessity of Black history now, I'm so glad that I was brought up in an environment where it was not only embraced but just fed to me, because we as Black people don't have a mainstream avenue, and it's much better now. It's improving always, but there's not a lot of positive ways. No, I'm not gonna say it like that because there's so many, but there are a lot of negative representations of us that exist, and it's very easy to take those and have sort of a distorted view of your own identity. Because if you view just the normative culture as the correct lens, then black people are just by the nature of it put behind the 8 ball. But understanding that there is a culture that we have as African Americans, there's a culture that the entirety of the diaspora of black people and African bodies displaced by whatever, we have a connecting force that not only is positive but is rooted in just great things. I think that's important for us to not only to know but to employ in the way that we live our daily lives. So I say all that to say I'm very thankful for my knowledge of black history. I continue as I learn more. It makes me more angry, but I'm very thankful that I have this desire to learn more.
Yeah. So I've had a completely different experience with just like black history, upbringing, being from, not in a bad way, but like I'm coming from an area of southern Arkansas where it's majority black, in which I'm seeing more people than you probably saw that looked like you just growing up,
right?
In which I guess black people would be the majority there.
Right.
And so also being in the Bible Belt in the South, constantly in church. So just throughout the year, we're just constantly learning about black history as well as about just our religion and faith and all that. But I just had a different experience with it, and just it really didn't hit me until I kind of like moved out of that space into a space where I am the minority. And like even during undergrad, it was still like I still took in Black History Month like with pride and everything, but being on the football team, I'm still in a space that's majority black.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm from, I guess, 3 years old in preschool and all that, all the way through high school. Most of undergrad, majority of my spaces are majority black. And then I go to law school in a class of 130, 135, and it's 4 of us in a class. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, it hit me like, this is what it feels like truly to be a minority.
See, bro, like except church, football, friend groups. Those were my class days every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And it was, especially when I got like in the AP classes and all the other stuff, like it was white as snow. Yeah. And I was just the fly in the glass of milk. And there were a couple more of us, but it just, that's how it was for me really normally. But go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just like, it really hit me. It's just like, we had like I want to say it was 4, maybe 5. But like we came from all different walks of life, but immediately when we saw each other, it was just like immediate connection. Mm-hmm. Just like we saw each other, like, okay, I know this is going to be a good guy, and for the most part, it was. And it's just other people around us didn't have that connection, and they couldn't understand still like what other black people go through on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. And they just go by what they see on TV, which is typically in the negative light, unless we put something out there that's positive, in which a lot of times they only want to put great black achievements if it's something like in sports, or every once in a while you'll get something huge in politics. But majority of the time they just want to talk about all the downfalls of the black culture. But those downfalls are within every culture. Right. It's just, for the most part, it's highlighted in minority groups for some reason. And I think
the reason.
Yeah, but I just think having black history and making people come to realization with all the things that black people have been through just within this country is important to bring light to understand who we are, and not just what they see on the news and things like that.
Sure. And I was looking for this quote when I was doing a little bit of research on Carter G. Woodson for that little segment I just did. This quote came up, and I love this quote. I'm gonna have this quote somewhere in my house when I get older. Those who have no record of what their forebears have accomplished lose the inspiration which comes from the teaching of biography and history. So when you think about all the history we learned and how little of it was black,
yeah,
I think about how many positive lenses that, and I don't want to discount all of the black creatives, all of just the people within Black history, because that's why I stopped myself, because the lenses that we have been dimmed, I'd say, by the dominant culture. But there's so many people that have made significant strides, even and I'd say recently and going all the way back, in trying to make it better for us in terms of representation. So I had to stop myself when I said that. But when you look at the history that we learned, there were not a lot of ways for us to positively see ourselves in that history. And I looking at this and connecting it to Dr. Woodson doing Negro History Week, I think, one, the mission just 100% necessary, and we need to just continue to try to accomplish that.
Yeah, and another, like, going off of that, it is important to see people that look like you in high up places.
100%.
And so, because at the end of the day, you are what you see, and that's how humans are. And so, if you're taught at a young age, or you only see things along the lines of you won't be anything and things like that, even if you don't just outwardly say that you don't believe in yourself, you will still have that in the back of your brain at all times. Like, no one thinks I can do this. It really doesn't matter if I fail or succeed, because they expect me to fail. And
people like me don't succeed in stuff like this.
Yeah. And so people just give up early on instead of fighting through. But if you see other people that look like you in these CEO positions, in these doctors positions, lawyers, things like that, it just gives hope.
And you stop thinking about yourself as an outsider. I feel like a lot of the time we see the spaces that we're typically not occupying, and we think of ourselves as outsiders. And when I say we, I'm thinking black people and other people of color. But when you see yourself as belonging there, that's not only it's not only advantageous in terms of actually being among the people that are usually in there. That's a mindset thing. That's a mindset thing. So if I feel like I belong here, that's going to impact the way that I approach this.
Yep.
And my expectations when I get there, if I get there.
And this is just another question, separate. What exactly did you learn in school, Black History wise? Not from your family, church, things like that, but during Black History Month, what really did they teach you at school?
Let me tell you this, brother. It was about 2 pages worth of Martin Luther King stuff. And just for comparison, I'd say there was probably 10 worth of George Washington stuff and people connected to George Washington. A little paragraph about Malcolm X.
No, see, my books, we have one sentence about Malcolm X.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Every year was one sentence. Malcolm X was this. He was like Martin Luther King, but more, how would they say? I can't remember. They were
probably more militant.
Not peaceful or something
which is,
that's a different
problematic for a lot of reasons. Yeah, the history books are terrible. They're terrible. And we learned about Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, just all of the people that are
slavery only lasted a week. No, actually slavery didn't last a week in class. That would be 15 minutes.
Yeah. We just didn't hit it a lot until I got into the higher levels of history, where I had teachers that were actually focused on, getting into the meat of it and having conversations and stuff like that. And of course it changed when I got into college, but I only took one history course. It was mainly in black, not black classes, but just African American studies stuff. When we got into those, I started talking about it more. But
yeah, that was Black History Month. We need that, and we have to keep it going. But I guess we can move to the next question.
You want to say that for last? Or you want? Because I feel like that one's gonna be.
Yeah, we can say that for last. Let's say that for last.
Okay.
So, what's your thoughts on NBA All Star so far?
Adam Silver wants some money. Adam Silver wants some money.
So you don't think they should be doing it?
No, there's no way they should be doing it. The players don't want to do it. We're in the middle of a global
They
pandemic.
get paid to do it though.
Adam
Extra money.
Silver wants some money. None of them are gonna make as much off of this as Adam Silver and the league are. So I'm telling you this right now. Anytime that Adam Silver gets in front of a microphone on TV, it don't matter what come out of his mouth. Every time I think you want some money.
I would love that job though.
As a commissioner?
The NBA commissioner?
Nah, I don't want that job.
Why?
Bro, think about. I don't know if they've.
First of all, it's not that many scandals in the NBA for the most part. You get one every 8 years, 9 years, maybe.
But you got to make hard decisions like that. Because, I mean, if it was up to Adam Silver by himself, he was probably like, I don't know if I want. It's probably like 5 executives holding a gun to his back saying, you better go out there and say something to tell these people we're having this all-star game. Because it's not. No, we're not doing that.
But, okay. Adam Silver helping the players on the long run. If they don't have this game, what happens to the salary cap?
You don't think that just hear me out. Just hear me out. So you have Bron saying we shouldn't be playing this game. Giannis saying we shouldn't be playing this game. Do you not think that CP is already on top of that? As the leader of the players' organization? Do you not think that CP is on top of that?
Listen. Bron, Giannis have already signed their long-term contracts, in which they're going to get their money regardless, no matter if the cap goes down or up. Them players that are up for them contracts in the next 1 to 2 years, this impacts them the most.
So you don't think? Hold on. Just hear me out. So you don't think that the Players Association? You think that Bron just came out and said that because he wanted to say it?
Bron said it because he don't care. He really don't want to play. It don't benefit him to play.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. He's your favorite player. You're not giving him enough credit. You're not giving him enough credit.
He doing it for. Yeah, I was.
You're not giving him enough.
See, I'm
credit.
trying to say. It seems like the
I'm
NBA,
surprised at you because you are like.
It just seems like the NBA is super safe. They're not like the NFL. There's people just getting COVID willy nilly.
Byron, they've had people sat out. Now they're not doing the bubble anymore.
Correct.
So they've had people sat down for coronavirus. Yes.
Correct. Tracing. There's not many people that have gotten actual COVID.
Excuse me. So they're just for coronavirus related concerns. Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
And you're bringing a large event to Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if you've ever been to Atlanta, Byron, but they showed there's already 10 parties booked right now. And he said that nobody was going to go. Nobody was going to be there. We're just going to have an event. We're going to put it on TV. That's not how it works.
Them players not going to that party, bro.
All right. You say so.
Most of these people are family men, bro.
Okay. All right. James Harden, the family man? James Harden, the family man?
You know,
Hey,
James Harden, he gonna do what he wants though.
Hey James, if you see this, I'm sorry, bro. I promise I'm sorry.
He is a family man.
You're not gonna see it. I hope. I mean, if you say so.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the All-Star game, but Adam Silver doing it for the revenue wise, which is gonna help the cap. Cause they taking a cap hit this year still. They should at least. No fans in the arenas for almost 3/4 of the season so far.
Yeah.
That cap is not gonna last much longer, bro.
Okay. I mean, I've taken the cap into consideration minimally, so I will do some more research and I will get back to you. But I don't think that, just off the top of my head, I don't think that Bron would come out and say this isn't what we should be doing.
Correct.
Giannis would back him up and say, King said this, we should go with
De'Aaron
that.
Fox did too.
I didn't hear about De'Aaron Fox.
But De'Aaron Fox said if he they vote him in some kind of way, he going.
Yeah, and I don't blame him for that.
See, you can't be out here trying to put your foot down.
You can still put the people in. I'm sure contract incentives have to have that in there somewhere.
Yeah,
if you make the All-Star team, so they should do it like the NFL is doing the Pro Bowl.
What they do with the Pro Bowl? I didn't watch.
They named the people that were in the Pro Bowl. They did a little video thing where they went to people's houses and asked them questions and stuff. They did a Pro Bowl event virtually, but they didn't have a Pro Bowl game.
Honestly speaking, they really just need to do a 3-point shootout. Call it a day.
No, I think people like the game a little bit more than that.
Okay, last year's game was pretty good, but before that, nobody cared about the game.
Okay. Well, I think that's enough about whether or not they should have the game, because it's obvious I don't think they should. But your All-Star starters have been announced.
Correct. Bron made it.
Yeah, and I don't think that there was any question as to whether or not he deserved to be in that spot. You have any problems with the starters on either side?
The West. So I'm starting with the West first. So it's Steph, Bron, Luka, Kawhi,
Jokic.
Is it Jokic? Yeah,
Jokic.
Only one I would have put in Dame. Dame over Luka. Luka hadn't had that great of a year so far, and Dame's had a really good year. And the Mavs are underperforming.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
You can't get me on that one.
No,
I would have Dame start.
It's tough. It's tough because I would have Dame starting, but I don't know if we describe him as a snub because Luka is a deserving starter too with the numbers that he has.
No, but he's not having great numbers this year. I know.
What are you talking about?
I know. Starting off this year, he was struggling bad.
Go look at his numbers.
Let's go look
at his numbers. Dame's averaging more points, but he's averaging more assists and more rebounds than Dame is right now. The only thing
shooting the worst percentage, I bet.
Yeah, I guarantee you he's shooting the worst percentage.
47.5% from the field.
Look at his
29, 8, and 9.
29, 8, and 9. Thank you. So I'm saying those are starting two numbers. Those are definitely all-star starter numbers, but I just think Dame's having a better year.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm rolling though.
Dame's averaging just under 30. His team's in a better position, and he has been.
And they're overperforming with what's his name, C.J. McCollum out, and is it Nurkic still or somebody?
One of them.
One of the bigs out.
But yeah.
Yeah, Dame averaging more points, less rebounds clearly. About the same field goal percentage, better from the three.
Yeah,
and the team doing better.
I agree that he should have been a starter. I just don't think he's a snub.
I'm giving him a snub.
No, people get snubbed like for real.
Dallas is not even.
Bradley Beal has been snubbed 2 years in a row as of now.
What do you mean by see? I'm not okay.
Are you sick,
bro? Bradley Beal just be putting up empty stats half the time.
Stop it. No, Bradley Beal is a bucket getter, and I don't care. I don't care what.
When did I say what team? I don't care what team. Empty stats.
Those aren't empty stats. Was Devin Booker putting up empty stats when the Suns were losing, or was he a bucket getter?
At the beginning, yeah, he was putting up empty
stats. No, that's stupid. The stats are just empty because the team's losing. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Byron, if there is an NBA team in front of me that wants to stop me from scoring points, and I'm doing it, those stats aren't empty. You act like he was getting a bunch of garbage time.
They weren't even. Damani, put it like this: they were not worried about Bradley Beal going for 40, because they were still going to lose. So they out here still playing him one-on-one, not really scheming around, because they know they weren't going to do anything.
How do you think NBA basketball works, Byron? The Wizards beat the Celtics the other day, who are not great, but are still scheduled to be a playoff team in the East right now.
Celtics, they always
I'm just saying, if there is one person on the team to stop, I'm pretty sure that NBA coaches would say, okay, tonight we're going to stop Bradley Beal from scoring 30 points.
Okay, Paul.
If he does it anyway, he's a bucket getter.
I got a question. Honestly speaking, when people are like, "Oh, we got the Wizards on Tuesday night," do you really think they're concerned? Like, just let's go make sure we watch this film.
They're professional basketball players, Byron. Do you think that they just take the night off when it's Wizards night? Okay, that's it.
You want me to really answer that question?
Yeah, go ahead and answer it, and then I'm not gonna say anything else.
They take the night off. They're not. Okay. They're not looking at Bradley Beal coming to a game like they look at LeBron, Kawhi, even Paul George.
Okay, yeah.
Steph, they not. Have you seen how when Steph be out there playing, how they be sending two people at him? They're not doing that with Bradley Beal.
Do you? It's obvious that you don't watch any of these people. You just I
hate watching the Wizards play basketball, especially I'm not a huge Russell Westbrook fan either.
Yeah, you're actually a Russell Westbrook hater.
I'm not a hater. I just don't enjoy his play style.
Oh, I don't think it's... So you haven't consistently said that he is like a cancer to basketball teams over the course of the last 4 or 5 years? You haven't said that?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
He can mess up a basketball team.
I feel like that makes you a bit of a hater. But
How am I a hater, though?
That's just me. That's just me. I'm
going
to sit over here and sip my Gatorade.
Think about this. What has he done?
Powerade.
He ran.
Sorry, brand identity.
He ran KD out. Ran the little Oklahoma City Thunder team into the ground. Had everybody thinking everybody on his team was horrible. People started leaving his team and flourishing. Victor Oladipo became an all-star the year he left.
Victor Oladipo was young, though.
He was like in year 5 or something like that.
No, he wasn't. Stop.
He was like in year 4 or 5.
Stop. Bro. No. Victor Oladipo is barely older than we are.
I don't know about that. But all I'm saying is, the year after he left Russell Westbrook, flourishing.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook go down to Houston. What happened?
Houston had tanked before that, though.
They had to reconstruct the whole entire team because he couldn't shoot. So they had to literally get rid of a big man because if Russell Westbrook's on the court, nobody's guarding him outside the paint.
So you're going to put that on Westbrook now? Because if I remember correctly, you were putting the blame in Houston on another guy not too long ago.
Actually, I wasn't putting it on James Harden. James Harden was getting his. He was doing what he was supposed to do.
Oh, okay. So you weren't putting the blame on James, talking about Daryl Morey got this guy and he didn't win. Daryl Morey got that guy.
I do think James Harden had a problem as well.
You just said that you. I'm done. I'm done with you for the day. We got to get off the NBA stuff.
He is.
You literally you pulled it.
That team wasn't gonna work though.
You know that
because look, he had Chris Paul though.
You know that person in the group chat that gets on my nerves. You just did exactly what he does.
I forgot about the James Harden stuff though.
Okay.
They brought him Dwight Howard. Said he wasn't getting the job done. So they sent him out. They bring him Chris Paul. Couldn't get the job done. They bring